Welcome to Above the Garage.
Hi, friends. Welcome to our discussion of Silo, Season 3, Episode 4. Let's do our round of introductions and dive in.
Hi, I'm Julia.
Hi, I'm Marigold.
And I'm Kate. So this episode kicks off with Camille initiating a hit on Juliet, telling Emerson off-screen to give the nurse orders to make her unconscious before she gets there. We learn later. Robert Sims has sought out his wife to find out what's up, and as usual, she seems annoyed by his presence. But she does give him some updates. That Lucas Kyle is alive, but has escaped, that the gas got the mayor, and he gets what that means. They have a chance to kill Juliet now without the silo being outraged. He offers to do it himself, but Camille insists it has to be her. Looks like she'll accept company when she does it, though. Inside Juliet's room, the nurse inquires when Camille will get there, and Emerson orders the nurse to knock her out before she does. Juliet starts screaming, but the more shocking event is when the nurse plunges her syringe into Emerson's neck rather than Juliet. The nurse's name is Amy, by the way. Now that she's no longer evil, I have learned her name. Emerson's choking Amy until Emerson finally collapses from the drug injected in her neck, at which point, once she can breathe again, Amy tells Juliet they gotta go. That was a fun plot twist.
Definitely. I was not expecting her to turn out to be the good nurse.
Yeah, and she wasn't particularly effusive in previous episodes either, you know? So they set that up nicely.
Yeah.
You weren't really torn about whether she was good or not. So yeah.
Yeah, because she was always reporting back to Camille as soon as something happened. Like,
Right.
you know, like she spit out the pills and stuff like that. But it's like that it's kind of a double crossing that she swept the pills before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In retrospect, did you guys think it was weird when she used the match to like look at what was in the sink?
Yeah, I was confused by that. I'm like, why not just use a light?
I know, like they do have like flashlights and things, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't say this on that episode, but I remember thinking it was a very strange way to try to see something, unless you're, you know, camping or something.
I guess like dramatic effects. I don't know.
I guess. And they were there because she'd been burning the note a previous day. I don't know.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Not to bring up Handmaids, but Emerson is giving me like aunt vibes from Handmaid's Tale. And I was
Yes.
like, oh God.
No, you're right.
Not on that note, but for me, Emerson is now the Brienne of Tarth of the silo. Like that sheer build of this woman and strength. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, lifting her up by her neck. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That was crazy.
She was scary.
I really didn't understand the first time I watched it why she finally passed out. And I realized, oh, it was just the syringe drug, like working slowly, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, did Juliet do something? No. So just took a minute, but
Yes, it took a minute because like maybe she also, I don't know, calculated it in a different way. Like, look at this woman, you have to
Right.
calculate
That's
based
true.
on the mass. So like
Yeah.
if a huge
good point.
person,
Yeah.
you know, gets the same dose,
Delayed action.
oh, yeah, it will take longer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Helen and Daniel are leaving the crime scene. Daniel wants to call the authorities, adorably, and Helen kindly smashes his phone for him. Breaks the news that he can't talk to his sister. They're for sure monitoring her calls. She forces Daniel to face the fact that they're dealing with really dangerous people now. People that made Dark Web's Steve disappear in short order. And then, oddly, Helen leaves him, which seems like a bad idea. I think I'd stick together for the foreseeable future if I were the two of them.
Yeah, I was confused, like, why? Because she had the safe house ready, so why couldn't they just
Right.
go there? She was like, meet here at a certain time.
Later, we learned she went to use a computer, right?
Yeah.
I don't think going to the office you were just fired from, where this,
I know. I was like,
I don't think that's your
That's not a very
safest or
smart move.
smartest bet. Yeah, unless
Yeah.
there's something specifically like a resource in the office that you need to access. I don't know. That's a very flimsy excuse for, but you know, worked out.
I guess she did, because didn't she say that, like in the later scene, that she, well, contacted someone or whatever, found out something they could use in their favor?
She found a phone number for Stephen and also Alameda's dad.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So,
You're assuming it was just like a database that she could use there that she couldn't use elsewhere.
exactly, I assume that because of her job.
That makes sense. But can you picture her like sneaking back in that like ridiculous office that's full of like 50, 20-year-olds playing? I don't even know. It was a strange place. Not easy to sneak in and out.
Definitely. And I also think Daniel sometimes comes off so clueless and so
Yeah, he does.
almost naive.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you know, like, they're gonna be coming after us. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And I think someone said on a previous episode, maybe it's like he trusts the government more because he works with them, but I feel like people that work in the government probably know to trust the government less.
Oh, you'd think.
Who knows? But yes, he's very naive.
Yes, we see that especially later with Sam, right?
Yeah.
He signed documents, kind of the same classified documents as Daniel did. And he's like, well, surely I'm not going to help you. But
Yeah.
then in the end, like, because he knows it's a dangerous game.
I mean, it's also like kind of insane that Daniel arranges this meeting with Sam at the Pentagon. I don't know. All of these are very questionable moves.
Yeah. That whole thing, I know we'll get to it, but that whole thing seemed sus. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when Sam was walking away, it looked like he was doing like hand signals to somebody.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
He like, I don't know, rubbed his face or something or touched his ear, something weird. And I was like,
Yeah.
as he was walking away, I was like, I don't think we should trust him.
I did notice that the camera work from like above felt like somebody was watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, which everybody's watching, I guess. Shirley's suddenly panicked about her bestie she's been aggressively ignoring, so she's running down the stairs to find out if Juliet is okay. Finally acknowledge that she's been not such a good friend. Knox is feeling guilty too for leaving Juliet in the mines. I think we've discussed every episode how frustrating Shirley's been this season in like not helping Juliet, so probably don't need to do it again, but one last time for good measure.
Yeah. At least she finally like comes around towards the end.
Yeah, but like it could be too late. This is why you don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I think she'll probably be cool for the rest of the season, so
Yeah.
hopefully we can forget about this. The Simses arrive for their murder date, but instead they find Emerson unconscious. Amy and Juliet haven't made it too far yet, so Amy gives Juliet a moment to breathe into the mask she brought, but that's it. They gotta go. The Sims will be hot on their heels. Sheriff Billings is still looking heartbroken about Orla when the ME tells him that it wasn't the poison that killed her. She died by blunt trauma and not accidental blunt trauma. It looks like it was done with a length of rebar 2 days ago, not in the mines per the lack of dust in her lungs. Her body was taken and hidden away back in the tunnels after her death, so she'd never be found. He puts in a call to Carla to meet him in Supply so that he can tell her about her shadow's death. It's weird how she never seems to be in Supply lately. This comes up again later, but
Who, Carla?
yeah.
Color, yeah.
Like her shadow
Yeah.
went to the council meeting. Have we seen her?
No, we haven't seen her
No.
this season, I don't think.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm wondering, like, was the reason that Orla was killed? Is Carla like training Orla up and using like the good tape for I
Right.
don't know, cleanings going forward or other things?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. She said mysteriously the only time we ever saw her, she thought she was on to something to figure out like
Mhm.
how a woman was moving something. It was a very simple sentence that I
Yeah,
just made
yeah,
very complicated. But it was like, I think I know how she's moving it.
yeah.
And you're like, wait, who's the she and what's she moving? So, but we don't know. I assume her death was related to that.
I'm
Probably.
suspecting the boyfriend at this point.
Oh my God, we'll get there.
Yeah.
He does not deserve a dog. That's all I know.
But it's just like another murder mystery that opened up in the
Yeah.
silo. Like, not that we had any of those during the past seasons.
Yeah, and there's like so much else going on that it's
Yeah.
like such a minor issue, sort of, but not.
You think so, yeah, you think so. But I think
Right.
Billings already feels like there's something off. Why does this
Yeah.
happen to this person at this point
Right.
of time, and where the mayor still does not have a memories? And
I think it will fit into the puzzle pretty clearly, and then he'll be more involved because he's been kind of not involved.
yeah.
Helen is back, has led Daniel to an apartment that he immediately ascertains is not her place, a conclusion he reaches since she drives a shitty car and this place is nice. It turns out it's her ex's place, who is conveniently on assignment in South Sudan. Daniel, monster that he is, has left his shoes on. Katie, do you take your shoes off in the house?
I do, and I hate when Mike doesn't. I'm a
Mhm.
shoes off person, so
So I feel like it's specifically America that's not amazing at that. And I find it fascinating. I'm not 100%. I try to be lately. But for whatever reason, like the entire generation of my children and their friends, 100% of the time take their shoes off when they come through the door.
Oh,
And I'm just really impressed because I don't know who's forcing it or if it's just this new generational instinct. It's very interesting to me.
yeah. What about in Germany?
Yeah, we take our shoes off, definitely. Like
Yeah.
this was the first rule for Europe, actually.
Yeah.
Also Japan.
Right. Certainly Asia does
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
In Japan, they have different types of slippers depending on what room you use. So, like if you go to the
Oof.
toilet, you have a separate set you only use for that, so you would not, cross spread the bacteria or whatever.
Wow.
Interesting. Right.
But I've been like lacking off at that lately, to be
Yeah.
honest, because like I grew up with carpet,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and our apartment now does not have carpet. It has like stone floors and wood floors. So something that is, well, easy to clean if it gets
Easier to
dirty.
clean, right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like whenever we have people over now, and it's like, okay, well, you can just
Yeah.
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's like muddy outside, I would say no, we
Yeah.
do have slippers and stuff, but
Evan's baseball team came over here and there was drinks right inside the door. And I was like, get a drink.
Mhm.
And this one kid was like literally frozen at the threshold and like trying to cross it and he like couldn't. And then he shook his head and he took his shoes off. And I was like,
Oh.
it was like just a few steps in and it was very funny. Anyway, okay. Like Daniel, I was also surprised Palmer kept a giant photo of her on the wall long after their breakup. Totally normal to Helen, though. He's just not petty. I wonder how his next girlfriend would feel about that. It turns out Helen went to her former office, as we discussed in her absence earlier. I'm also surprised her keycard would work. But she found the phone numbers for Steve, the dark web guy, and it was surprising that his name was actually Steven. I assumed that that was a completely fake name. But his phone number is no longer in use. Same with Juan Alameda's father's phone number, no longer in use. So they killed him too, I guess? Helen and Daniel determine that their next step is looking for someone in Moldova who recorded the comms. Sounds easy. And then they both remember in great detail the chess game Steve was playing while they were there, how he exposed his king. Helen compares it to something in the Snowden files where government and terrorists were using World of Warcraft to communicate. She did notice the tail end of Steve's username was Bigfoot Lives, so Daniel calls her Nancy Drew, as Yulia mentioned in an earlier episode. Helen herself is not such a big fan of that comparison. I don't know why. It's a compliment.
right, isn't it? Like, it's especially because we have this big ass mystery now going on that she always hoped
Yeah.
for as like a reporter. I think like she was going up this.
Yeah, she's good at investigating.
Like the first thought I had was like, if you try to hide where you are, don't ever go to someone who you ever been related
Yeah.
to. So why
Right.
the place of the even if it's an ex-boyfriend now, like they had a relation,
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
if you want to hide out, withdraw some money, like as much as you can, and then hide out at a random motel in whatever, or like a factory, or
Yeah. I don't know if this is true. Do hotels take cash? I'm sure you can certainly find a motel that will accept your cash, but I think
Yeah.
normal hotels require a credit card here in America anyway,
Yeah.
I think. But you could definitely find a shady motel and give them money and they'll be happy to take it. So,
Maybe she knew like her ex-boyfriend. If he's a journalist, maybe he's like very distrustful of the government too. Maybe he has like good security, or I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it was probably nearby and she knew how to get in and that's all
Yeah.
that really occurred to her then.
That's true.
But yeah, she probably doesn't have a long safe there. And maybe she wants to make Daniel jealous.
Maybe.
Show off the giant photo of her on this wall.
do you think like her ex-boyfriend was like a reporter or more like a photographer?
Yeah, it
Oh,
could
yeah.
be a photographer. Well,
That's probably where they met, that he took the photos and she wrote the articles or something.
That could be.
yeah, they work together.
I just assumed he was a journalist, but that makes sense, especially with the photo of her.
Yeah, that's a good call. Now we get to see the two famous missing people of the silo reunited. Lucas Kyle and Patrick Kennedy in the same room with very different agendas. Kyle is trying to explain to Kennedy that the outside is not safe, that what they see in the cafeteria is what it looks like. Kennedy just assumes they got to him. Kyle further explains that they put that beautiful, colorful filter inside the cameras of the cleaners so that they actually clean the window. Kat's listening and buying it. Patrick is not when they learn the raiders have descended to their level. Kyle desperately wants to leave and go find Juliet, but he recognizes he's stuck after peeking out the door. I am glad that he's arrived to straighten out the rebels. This season's rebels are like doing it for the wrong reason, sort of, like we talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad he's here to help get them on track.
Yeah. I kind of don't blame Patrick Kennedy for thinking that Lucas Kyle is like compromised though, because it's like
Yeah.
there's just so
Right.
much like conflicting information
Uh-huh.
that like who do you believe?
Right. Kyle had like strange motivation in the finale of the last season. It almost felt like he kind of gave up once
Yeah.
he learned whatever
Mhm.
information he did in the
Yeah.
basement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I can see Patrick Kennedy not trusting that also.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Patrick Kennedy, I don't know. I feel like he's the conspiracy leader by now. Like he's like,
Oh yeah.
he only believes his truth, kind of.
Right.
And as long as he is not really presented proof,
Yeah.
he will just,
And I love him for it.
yes, it's so,
Yeah.
but I mean, his thinking does make kind of sense. But then in the end, like when the others tell him, think about it, like this also makes sense from what Kyle is saying,
Right.
Mhm.
that's the reason why they clean, is they see a beautiful picture instead of just devastation.
And they're trying to share it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if the helmets, because they have the helmets, right? The rebels have the helmets,
Yes.
both helmets, because that's what they
They're
show.
the ones that showed it to Juliet. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
is there basically no technology left in there that could point to the fact that they used a video instead of
Right.
real deal? I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe not in the 17, like Silo 17 helmet, because that's different kind,
Just
right?
a normal helmet.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a normal one,
Yeah.
but like the Silo 18 helmet was.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to figure that out to convince Patrick, maybe. Shirley's begging to get in to see Juliet, but the way is blocked by several raiders. Knox tries to mediate, and that goes about as well as you might expect. On top of being a raider, this one has a specific grudge against Knox, so there's no way he's letting them in. So Knox pivots to plan B. He punches the raider to cause a distraction for Shirley to sneak by, and it works. Shirley overhears Sims giving orders and learns Juliet has escaped. Camille is blaming this mess on Robert because he handpicked the nurse, which is interesting. Rob assures Camille he'll take care of Juliet himself, and Shirley understands what that means, especially after they tell the lead raider, Johnny, to keep it off the radio if they find her. Knox has been handcuffed to the railing in her absence, but Shirley's able to debrief him quickly before the raiders notice her. After they warn her away, she kisses him and leaves.
Unpopular opinion. Knox and Shirley are growing on me a little bit.
Oh, good for you. I'm happy. I
Yeah.
want someone to like them.
I mean, I'm not gonna like join a Discord server to talk about them or anything, but like,
Tell me when that changes.
Not something that any normal person would do,
Yeah. I was just like, okay, I can see it a little bit more now. I wasn't so anti them, but
All right, good. I'm glad. I would like to get on board too, but I'll keep you updated.
yeah. So at this point, we're assuming that Sims appointed that nurse and he's trying to work against Camille, right?
That's the thing I also got from this conversation.
I would assume because the nurse told her to go to 76 and then Sims was waiting for her.
Right.
And my question is like, what is Sim's motivation? Is it
Right.
because he wants to avoid having the water be contaminated and his son losing all of his memories, or is it something else?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I would assume at this point it's memory driven because he was like freaking out about making new memories.
Yes.
Right when
Yeah.
she tells him about the memory erasing, and he took it oddly well, and I was like, so it would make sense that behind the scenes he is trying to do something else,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I got the same impression of it, even though I was wondering why the nurse would send Juliet to him specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there was any other way how he could have found out, like through the cameras, like they're still active, right? So
Yeah, I suppose that could be the case too.
yeah, I still did get the feeling that he was working against Camille for reasons. Maybe it's also that he probably wanted to be appointed to the next head of IT. And maybe there's also a bit of jealousy in there. That's true. She knows everything that he doesn't. But maybe also that she listens to what the algorithm says, or the voice.
Their marriage does not seem to be in its best place.
Yeah, like she's a pinball by now. Like every single corner is death, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. It was a very climactic episode. There was a lot of tension building up.
Yeah.
So like it's reaching a high, like a climax. Like everything we had until now reaches a climax. And I'm wondering how it will all unravel in the end.
Yeah.
Well, I love the very end of the episode. It's very exciting. But we will get there.
Sorry, another side note. When Knox comes up to that, the raider and says, "My name's Knox. I will knock you out now."
Yeah. At that moment, I was like, what is he doing? And then I was like, oh, creating the distraction. I was like, this is dumb of him.
Juliet is hesitant to trust the nurse, but the nurse makes it clear it's either trust her or the raiders, and the nurse is risking her life to help her, so Juliet chooses wisely. Sheriff Billings is entering Supply, where we last saw Orla, and her boyfriend is still basically in the room where she left him. Billings calls Michael out on not being very broken up about Orla's absence and chooses not to tell him about her death, which I fully support. This guy sucks. Don't tell him anything. We also learn that McLean has not been in Supply for months. That is longer than I had expected. Let's talk about how our boyfriend sucks.
Oh, he's so suspicious. Like, it's not like just that he sucks. It makes him the most suspicious, as we kind of assumed in the beginning, that he's the number one suspect of having to do something with all of this. Because, like, he was also probably the last one that
he's the last one to see her alive.
Well, and didn't he date the last shadow for the head of Supply?
Yes. And they hate each other.
So it's seems like he's just dating who's ever in that position to get access.
He comes with the office.
Yeah. He doesn't deserve that dog.
No, he really doesn't. You never see anyone with a dog in this show, and this guy's got one. It's messed up. The raiders are getting close. Nurse Amy realizes they're likely to get caught if they stay together, so she bravely runs towards them after giving Juliet her oxygen mask and instructing her to go to the pump room on 76. Helen wakes up, finds Daniel gone, and thought he'd pieced out, but really he just went out for some pastries. I like that he chose the pink sprinkled donuts. Those are my son's favorite, too. He bought the donuts so he could use the bodega's phone, and now they have a date at the Pentagon, which is bold. Do you like these two together?
Helen and Daniel?
Helen and Daniel, yeah.
I feel like Helen's a bit more intelligent than Daniel, so I don't know.
Yes.
I was gonna say, like, I feels like kind of like dating down. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but just I don't know.
You don't see it. I like it because there was this argument over whether when they first met it was a date or not, which it wasn't a date. It'd be funny if they ended up dating from that. Sims finds Juliet in the pump room, as we briefly discussed earlier, but luckily Shirley finds her at the same time, or unluckily, we'll find out. She locks Sims in the room and tells Juliet they're trying to kill her. Shirley will help her hide in Mechanical, but finally Juliet convinces her to take her down to the Digger Void, or as close as they can get since it's supposedly been closed off. Daniel is meeting up with his friend Sam at the Pentagon, it turns out, to disappointing results. Even after telling him about the pilot's loss of control, about Charlotte's memory loss, and hearing the recording, Sam opts out of their favor, electing to protect his own family instead. He also reminds Daniel of all the allegiances that he pledged, the documents that he signed, and the lie detector tests they take every 6 months. Have you ever heard that? Agency of the government?
I guess maybe depending on their level of clearance. You know,
I'd never seen it in like a show before either, so I was just curious if it really happens.
I guess if like you're dealing with government secrets, to know if you're spilling those secrets would probably be a good thing to know, but do they actually do them? Probably not.
I would dislike that if that was part of my job. It would cause me great anxiety, not even because I'm lying. I don't know. Sam pieces out, but guess who's still there? The old white dude that is everywhere. This time he actually speaks to them, invites them to what is unlikely to be an optional coffee date. Once they get there, they refuse the actual coffee and grill him on what happened to these men that disappeared. Did we know this guy's name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm going to call him Deep Throat because
okay.
He reminds me of the X-Files guy. What did you write down?
I wrote creepy guy.
Okay.
I wrote old suspicious guy.
Deep Throat is good.
Yeah. I would really like them to give him a name, but anyway.
I mean, yeah, but if he has no real name, he has no real name.
Yeah.
I don't trust Sam.
Yeah.
I think he's setting up Daniel. That's my personal opinion.
I hope not, but yeah.
Also, I thought it was funny that the old guy called them by their first names, like Helen, Daniel. It's like...
Yeah.
Which immediately imposes that he has more power over them. Like, not using, like, last names, but it's like, you know, you two come with me and...
Yeah. He assures them that Stephen was just relocated to his new fantastic job they scored him, and Alameda's dad was the lucky winner of a new woodworking shop. Right. Deep Throat offers Helen a promotion too. She can work at the Times, despite her history of journalistic fraud, which is clearly news to Daniel. Daniel's curious what kind of promotion he's going to get, but nope. For him, they're threatening to withdraw care for Charlotte, which I think is a great idea. I would be all over that if I was him. Like, I would be trying to break her out of there already anyway. So yes, let's do that. While they're debriefing outside of the building, Helen is tempted by this deal, and that's very disappointing. She's sure that it's an impossible battle, that nothing will be found even if Daniel gets his subpoenas. Helen claims it's more about Charlotte for her than the job, though she would also like the job, and asks Daniel to keep a low profile if he keeps going. I liked his face when she walks away. He can really clearly not believe it when she walks away. He wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But also, this is because you commented on that also, that Daniel should be happy if they just would not treat
I know.
his sister for her memory loss. Then also you have Helen, who acts completely different than we would all expect. So I'm wondering if we have scenes missing in between those conversations, or already set up a kind of another double crossing somebody, because it's so weird. It's so out of character now.
Yeah, especially for Helen, because she was immediately like, this is a terrible place, they're wiping her memories, etc. Yes. And the thing is, they still haven't really, I think they might have even specifically said that she doesn't have physical injuries. It's just that her memory has been wiped. So of course you want to get
deliberately.
Her out of there. Right. Yeah, and they even told them it was deliberate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the lack of urgency to get her out of there either. Juliet and Shirley are hiding, and Juliet tells Shirley she gets these feelings about people despite not remembering why. She feels very protective and defensive of Shirley, whereas with Knox she feels like arguing or something. Shirley catches her friend and tells him that they need him to lower them down without telling anyone. The outsiders get the news about Juliet and Shirley going down. Kyle says, let's go ask Juliet together. She's remembering more off of the drugs. She remembered Kyle. Kennedy has another way down that apparently Kyle's not going to like.
What I think it's like a slide.
The silo should have lots of those.
Like a chute straight down. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a garbage chute or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this would also be awesome. Yeah.
That makes sense. Garbage chute. I'm excited at them all being reunited down below.
Yeah, we hope so, right?
In the next episode. Yeah.
But wouldn't anybody of them again be on any camera, or
Supposedly the outsiders have figured out all the cameras.
Maybe.
And know how to avoid them is what they said. But yes, that would be difficult to do. Harwood's daughter is back as the supply shadow now that Orla's missing. She probably killed her. Oh no, we decided he killed her.
She's just another suspect now, okay? Just another suspect shows up.
Right, and they did it together, perhaps. Anyway, her name is Glinda. She insists that Michael is not Orla's boyfriend, which is strange. And she doesn't mind the break from her job that she got to go home for a bit to the mines on 70. I feel like all that meant something that I didn't understand yet. The enjoying the break, I don't know, seemed like a strange thing to say. Juliet and Shirley have arrived at the bottom, and Juliet remembers this place. Shirley tells her that's because she used to come down here with her boyfriend, who she now remembers, George. It's funny that old Juliet never admitted to Shirley that she had a boyfriend, but Shirley finally gets confirmation from memory wipe Jules. Juliet finds a door and eventually works it open. Walker didn't seal it off after all. Not shocking. They hear a noise, so Shirley goes back to head off whoever's following them, while Juliet carries on. Hopefully the noise they heard was just Kennedy and Kyle. Meanwhile, Daniel's back at work, reading about Helen's journalistic fraud when Sam calls him. He does want to help after all, but couldn't say it in public at the Pentagon. Sam's found even more shady intel that he wants to share with Daniel, but we don't get to hear what it is. Instead, he goes straight to Helen and asks her to please do this with him. He doesn't know how to do it on his own. And she agrees. He's bought them a new shitty car, a van this time, in cash, and they're off. And then finally, Juliet is approaching a makeshift living space of some sort, cautiously, when she hears a cough. When she pulls the curtain open, shock of all shocks, it's Bernard alive. Very exciting turn of events. I did not expect that.
Actually, I only watched this episode once, and I was like, who's that? Is that supposed to be Bernard? Or
it took me a minute too. I was like, what?
Supposed to be her dad? Who's it?
Oh, it'd be cool if it was her dad.
Oh.
Yeah, Bernard's not looking his best, but a lot better than I expected after being in the fire.
But then I thought, does he have some burn marks here or there, like some scarring or whatever? So I thought, maybe it's supposed to be Bernard.
Yeah,
right.
And an unshaved beard, of course, because he's been there for 3 months?
Yeah.
So are we assuming that Lucas Kyle brought him down there? I guess I would assume it's Lucas Kyle, or maybe it's Sims, but because Lucas was worried when he heard that Juliet was going down to the Digger Void. But then again, how would Lucas Kyle bring him down there? I don't know. It must be Sims then, I guess.
Yeah, because we see Sims, if we can believe what we see in the show right now.
Yeah.
That he kind of suffocates him.
Yeah, with the plastic, yeah.
But then we just have his voice over body carrying down to this is what he tells Juliet, right?
Right,
This
that's
is
not
like
an acted out memory.
yeah, exactly. From the fact that show and don't tell, like I would assume he actually tried to kill him, and maybe he was nearly dead, but he somehow survived. And whoever was active in the incinerator, I realized he wasn't dead. But this is getting intense here. Everyone's double crossing everyone. Where's the truth? Is this somewhere in between?
Right. I hope that we get to finally see like what happened after the last episode of all the missing information, you know?
Last comment is the shot when Daniel walks down that corridor and the light goes on. This shot is so great. He just walks right to the camera, and then it's like lights turn on as if he's going to be illuminated.
Right.
And then he receives that call of Sam, who gives him information he didn't have before, which prompted him to go to Helen again.
Yeah, I like it. All right, I guess it's a wrap on our discussion of Season 3, Episode 4 of Silo. Come back next week for Episode 5. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.